Birds don't have legs. Hi guys, welcome back to the Quora Zone. Today we're reading from As a Teacher, What is the most shocking thing you've heard a student say? Our first post is from Mary Kernan McCarthy. Not what she said, but what she did. I was lecturing on a sewing technique to my level 1 college design students when I noticed activity next to me at the cutting table. Rummaging around in a tote bag, a most challenging student put out a can of deodorant and went about applying it liberally to her armpits. I stopped mid-sentence and said, "Do you need to go down the hall?" She paused, looked at me, and burst out laughing. So did I, along with the rest of the class. She then put it away sheepishly, and we continued with class. Later that day, at an all-staff meeting, my supervisor noticed the student's happy approach to me in the hallway and asked, "What's up with her? She never talks to the instructors." I said, "I don't know, it's a gift, I guess." I still don't know, except maybe that I acknowledged her when others possibly had not, in a weak moment, and didn't chastise her. We all knew her behaviour was rude, but also darn funny, and the rest of the class saw that teacher had a sense of humour. Thank God. This didn't occur where I'm currently teaching. When I was in high school myself, I was a pretty smart guy and took Earth and Space, easy science class, right after my AP physics class, really hard science class. Needless to say, the difference in intelligence was like night and day. Here I am, brain running a million miles a minute after physics, where I was admittedly far from the smartest, into a class of people who only took Earth and Space because they had to get another science credit. Sure, some of them were pretty intelligent when it came to science, above average even, but not all. Disclaimer, yes, I realized I was very arrogant back in high school. I still am a bit. I know I could have handled these situations better. Some questions are okay when you're 5, not when you're 15. My Earth and Space class had a few doozies. Granted, that she didn't know about it was worth correcting. Still, this is the type of stuff that a 15-year-old should have picked up enough in passing and should be able to figure out for themselves. She was the sort that wanted everyone to do things for her, including asking me to just do her homework or class assignments, hoping to get by on looks, and that caused this nerd to swoon. Girl, why don't people on the bottom of the earth fall off? Teacher, face slowly morphs from being astounded to realizing he might not know how to explain in terms she can understand. Class. Me. Gravity, girl. Oh. Well then, don't they feel upside down? Teacher, still astounded. Me. Gravity makes down feel like the center of the earth. Girl. Oh, I get it now. Me, internally. No, you don't. Not at all. I felt bad for giving her a conceptually incorrect answer. We didn't have all day, and the teacher pondered it for a second and realized it would get her through life as much as she could be expected of her at the point, and shrugged and got on with the lesson. I should have given her credit. After all, she did ask a question. I should have been nicer. She might not have asked before because she'd been worried about seeming stupid, but her tone suggested it was the first time she thought of it. I had a hard time feeling bad for her. All the time she tried to get out of her coursework, trying to bat her eyes at me and pleading for me to do it for her, and eventually offering to pay. As quite a few other students in the class did, not caring about their education. "You seem to like this stuff. Why don't you do it for me?" Hate that. Hence why I didn't feel bad for her. I'll never fault someone for asking a question, but that just took the cake. It was over 8 years ago, and I still remember the event vividly. The next one I have to give credit for. She wasn't exactly dumb. Still, the sort did not care about her education, but her question itself was shocking, or rather, the concept error was. Another girl, different day. How do you determine the waterness of something? Teacher, the waterness? Yeah, how much water something has in it. I can't remember the real word for it. Teacher, like saturation? No, not that. I could not be a teacher because, well, the script is right here, guys. I don't know how to explain it. I could not be a teacher because I am actually very, very horrible at explaining stuff. Anyway, at this point, the whole class asked the girl in varying ways what she meant. But after 5 minutes, the teacher decided it was too much a diversion and she had some gross concept error that couldn't be fixed at the time. Edit. During these 5 minutes, we ruled out the obvious viscosity, volume, etc. However, ignored the lesson. The material was being presented. Slowly enough, I could learn it myself with periodic glances and spent a good 15 to 30 minutes trying to figure out what waterness was. Wasn't this actually a word now? It sounds like it could be actually a word. Wait, let's Google. Oh my god, guys, waterness is actually a word. Waterness can mean the state of being watery, diluted, or having the quality of water. Rightio. Anyway, I finally realized it based on some of the things she said as we questioned her, me randomly during the lesson. You mean density, right? Girl, yes! And I had to spend the next few minutes explaining to her what density was. She seemed to get it. Our next post is from Lizzie Skyrocket. I used to live in Las Vegas, and my ex-husband was a high school English teacher. Students from all over, especially from Mexico, would enroll for school throughout the year. One of his students came at the end of the school year when there were finals, and she hadn't learned to write English yet. The students had to write an essay. He told her to just do her best. Well, she ended up writing her paper in Spanish. He didn't speak a word of Spanish, but thought that she did a beautiful job, so he fought for her to get credit for her essay. After he turned in the paper, the school board told him they couldn't credit her for the work, not because it was written in Spanish, but because it was about, and apparently very detailed, how to give a blowjob. Our next post is from Caroline Adam. I teach first grade. We were reading about food and the book said something like cucumbers and tomatoes have seed, so they're actually a fruit. But pumpkins have seeds. A student raised his hand and said, did you know boys have seeds inside of them too? What I could think back to say was, thank you for sharing. That would have been my response as well. Thank you, that's great. Our next post is from Jim Welton. It was an 8th grade class. We were studying Hamilton's economic policies. A student raised her hand to ask a question. This student never has a question, so I was intrigued. Why do birds fly south? I actually know that. I don't entirely know it, but it's like south because it's warmer, because it's about to be winter. So like south is warmer. Yeah, south. Flying to Australia, Southern Hemisphere. Actually, never mind. That is a story for another time. Now, a good teacher will quickly move past the question and stay on topic. That's not me. Because it is too far to walk. As a few of the students were laughing, the student looks confused and asks her best friend, why is everyone laughing? Her friend replies, you were so stupid. You know he's joking. Birds don't have legs. We never finished discussing Hamilton. Alright guys, that is all from the Quora Zone today. I hope you guys enjoyed these personally crazy stories. Let me know if you guys have your own stories, even if it's not what you heard a student say as a teacher, but if you were the student, even a random person in public, let me know in my email, because those would be really crazy stories that I can then share to everyone else. But yeah, once again guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.